Bonjour and welcome to a new unboxing video, and I've got a big box today, and it's a big box of something that I've talked about all the time and I know you love it. It's Mego figures. A few weeks back I actually showed you the wave 15 of Mego, which were basically variants of the Tops figures that they had released, and I told you that I had only half of them and I would get the other half, and here is the other half of wave 15 of the Mego variant figures. So we're going to open them, and like we did the last time, I'm going to do a comparison when I can of the figures with the Tops version. So without any further ado, let's go. So as I said, it's a big box. We're going to start with so it's a mix. This time we've got some Planet of the Apes, we've got some DC heroes and some Star Trek, since we had seen all the horror figures the last time. So we're going to start with the Planet of the Apes, and you can actually see here that it is the mutant leader. And the mutant leader, here is the new mutant leader. I don't have the Tops one to compare because as I said the other time, my Planet of the Apes figures were for a friend and he got them. So here you go. That was the mutant, and the mutant leader in the Tops version was with the maskless version. So he had a completely different head, which was completely scarred. So here you go. That's a very, very different figure. So that's the first one. Then we do have another Planet of the Apes figures, which is Brent. And Brent, as you remember, Brent in the Tops version was wearing his spacesuit, and this one is wearing the rags that Taylor was wearing in the Tops version, whereas now Taylor has the spacesuit, so you can do an easy swap. One thing that's interesting to know about this one is that it was one of the figures that was in the slightly smaller scale body, which is a bandless body, and apparently, I mean, I can't check on this one, but apparently those issues with scale of the bandless body have been resolved. I mean, most of those that are in this new box that I've received have the bandless body, whereas the first half of the wave 15 figures that I had the more classic body, which the 14 point of articulation, whereas this one does say it's got 26. So here you go. That's the two Planet of the Apes. They are the two that I can't really show you, but the rest we're going to do a full comparison, and we'll start first by showing them to you, and then we'll do the comparison like the last time. The first one is going to be a DC Comics Black Adam. So we'll do the comparison afterwards. Then we do have the Shazam. Same thing. We'll do the comparison just later after I've shown you everything. Then we do have Rasal, which oddly enough seems to have been the less popular of all the Tops figures. I mean, it's funny because you can see on the aftermarket what value people are willing to pay, and the for the Tops figure, the Rasal one seems to be the less popular of them all, which is kind of strange because I would have expected a major Batman villain to be popular, and it's a great figure too. And then we do have the fourth one, which is Green Arrow, which is a different version of Green Arrow. And last but not least, we do have Star Trek. So Star Trek, we've got Quark, we've got Core, we have Benjamin Cisco, and we do have Spock. So here we go. That's all the ones that I received. So now we're going to look at them in a bit more detail. Let's start with Razoraku after all. So we're going to start with our Razoraku. Once again, You will notice that most of those have stickers which say that they are limited to 1,000 units. This is really for Europe. I mean, in the US, those don't have the sticker. So if you are in the US, don't expect to see this. This is really for the European edition. I'm not quite sure what it means. Is there just a first batch that's limited to 1,000 units, and then they're going to do another batch? I have absolutely no clue. I've actually asked, but so far the only answer I got was that it was a request of the European distributor. So we're going to open it, because I mean, you know me, there is no way I'm going not to open Mego figures unless they are not for me. So here we go. We do have Rasal. So I mean, we know Rasal. We've seen Rasal before, so I'm going to show him to you again. And if you want to compare, because we're going to compare him to his version, the version that is from Tops is actually very, very different. I mean, it's a completely different costume. So that's the regular one. So that's the new version. He has a shirt and he has a cape and black trousers, and the other one had a full green suit with a shirt and a much more decorated cape. So that's very, very, very nice. Otherwise, of course, it is the same sculpt. I'm just checking if there is any change. No change here. And is it the same size? So this one, I don't remember if this one is a bandless body or not. It should, is it 26? It says 26 point of articulation, so it should be, yes it is, because basically with the new 26 point of articulation you can do that, whereas you can't with the other one. It doesn't look, if I'm putting them next to each other, yes, definitely. It does appear to have a slight difference in size, like there is maybe like a, not really a centimeter, but there is a slight difference in size. I mean, if you can see, it's, I'm not even sure. It's difficult to say that they are. I think it's probably the cape doesn't help. So we'll check in another one which might be easier. So that's the two versions of Rasal. So then we're going to get Green Arrow. So Green Arrow, this is the Green Arrow from Wave 15. So it does have his look from the new 52 on the packaging, which is weird. Of course, the packaging once again are different from the one from Top. So if you have them in the packaging, you can see the difference between the two easily, because the pack is quite different. So here we go with Green Arrow. So Green Arrow appears to be actually, it is different. It's definitely, there are some differences. I'm just getting his bow out and we can actually check. Interestingly enough, because that was actually an issue with I'm not sure that's really an issue, but you will notice that the G of Green Arrow on the bow, on the belt is reversed, so you just need to twist things around to put him back the way he's supposed to be. And so here you go. He's got this comic book look, and I mean, you do have the head sculpt, which is the same as the classic Green Arrow from the 1970s. So we do have him here, and he does have his bow. And it's going to be interesting, because I do believe that there is actually quite a fair bit of difference with this one, because here is this is the Tops version, so you will notice immediately that the costume is very, very different. The bow is a different color. I do notice one thing. The hands, of course, are gloved, but the interesting thing is, I'm going to check that, but I don't think he's got the same hands. So we do have, is that me? It could be just me. Is it the same hand? No, maybe. I don't know. The hands look slightly different, but it could just be me. So anyway, so the new version, yeah, actually it seems to be able to grip the bow much more easily than the other one. So the interesting thing is as well, this should be, well, I don't see much difference in size. I mean, because that's one of those figures that had an issue in scale. I'm not quite sure if there is really much. Could be, it's difficult to know. It's very weird that it appears to be difficult to see if those have been changed or not, because I've been told they were supposed to have been modified. So we'll see. Maybe not all of them have been modified. Well, we'll see. So let's go now to Shazam, the Captain Marvel. So Shazam, and Shazam is very much like the comic book version. Again, the classic comic book version from the 70s, and it's interesting actually that you see the old classic Captain Marvel Shazam version on the back, whereas the other one had the more modern New 52 version with the big lightning bolt that's more like a proper lightning bolt. So let's open this and we're going to compare, because this again is quite a different costume. I mean, the costume looks similar, but they are actually quite, so here is the new version. It's actually very, very cool. It does have all the little details on his cape. So let's see how different he is from, this is the version that they had done for Tops. So as you can see, very different in the sense that this one has everything is golden, all the accessories are golden, and it does have the rounded part to his sleeve, whereas this one doesn't have the rounded part to his sleeve. This one has a belt, a golden belt, and this one has the sash. It does have a button here, whereas this one doesn't, and the cape is also different because we do have the golden cape with some design, whereas this one has the yellow design on both sides. So they've actually changed things quite a bit, and that's once again a figure that is supposed to be the round scale. Yes, actually, yeah, yeah. If I'm thinking that if I remove might be easier. Let's do that with another one with no capes, because I think the capes are not helping, but it does look a bit bulkier anyway. I mean, you agree that it does look a bit bulkier than this one. So here you go. That's the difference between the two Shazam figures. And then we've got Black Adam. Black Adam here, and he looks incredible. Beautiful illustration here. On the back, it's interesting that it is actually a picture of the toy. So there must have been some orders from DC saying, no, you can't use that image or something like that, which happens quite frequently with people who hold rights to character. They don't want you to use certain illustration. I mean, it's fair enough. So here you go. That is Black Adam, and so we're going to get him out, free him from his plastic prison, as I always say. And here we go. You do have Black Adam, who's got beautiful skull. I mean, the head sculpt is still absolutely fantastic. But so it's got a yellow and black outfit, and if we compare it to the Tops version, this is the Tops version. So the Tops version, as you can see, has everything in gold instead of yellow. Does have the little rounded bit to his wristbands. And now we're going to see, because it may be easier to see on this one. There, it's not much. It really isn't much, but it does look that is slight. I don't know. It's very difficult to know. I don't know if it's really that much bigger or not, but it's okay. I mean, I don't mind personally. I didn't mind the fact that those were slightly smaller, but it's very difficult to know. I think they may be the same size actually. So maybe they only did change the size for some of them. I don't know, or maybe the change of size to the corrected body size for the bundles will come later. So it was just said that they had changed the body size. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. If you know that the bundles bodies have been changed and corrected, and you're sure of it, please comment below. I'll be very happy to hear that. I'm not entirely convinced that it's been done, and I'm not sure they would have had the time, to be honest, to sort this. So anyway, we do have still 4 figures to go, and they are the Star Trek ones, which the best for last is what I say. I just adore Star Trek. So that's actually my first Star Trek toys for my collections were the old Mego toys from the 70s. So we'll start with Mr. Spock. So Mr. Spock, as you can see, is a version of Star Trek the Motion Picture with his Vulcan robe, so that picture on the back, and he looks absolutely fantastic. So it's going to be interesting again, because this one, if it's been corrected, I'm not quite sure it will be very visible, because it's actually quite different from the one they released via Tops, and I absolutely adore the top version. So here we go. So I am just looking at him. He looks absolutely fantastic. He looks even better once it's out of the pack. I mean, that's one thing with Mego figures. I find that if you keep them in the pack, you don't get the full experience, because they do look much better once they've been freed, because of the way the clothes hangs and everything. The fabric hangs, sorry. It looks really cool. I absolutely adore it. It's very interesting that it's got the regular Star Trek feet with the boots molded in, and it does have a little, I don't know how you call that, basically the collar bit underneath the robe, because I'm pretty sure that, or is it a full, no, it is actually a full shirt. I mean, I wasn't expecting a full shirt underneath. I was expecting, you know, how did they call that? They used to call that a dicky or something like that, which was just basically a collar piece to save money. So they actually gave him a full undershirt, which is really cool. So this is the new version, and this is the amazing, fantastic version that they released via Tops. So as you can see, quite different figures. I mean, this is still my favorite. I mean, it looks absolutely incredible, but this is really good. I absolutely adore, and we're going to see, but this one will be difficult to check, because actually I can't check with that, because I have to give you a little secret. I added some little height to this one by putting some stuff in his boots, so that is the correct height. So both of them look about the same height, and this one looks actually slightly smaller, but that's because it's got the molded boots. So once again, I can't tell you if they've changed the bandless bodies, but those are incredible. So here you go. That's the new Wave 15 Mego compared to the Tops one, and then we've still got 3, and we're going to go to Benjamin Cisco. So Captain Benjamin Cisco, and he's wearing his Deep Space Nine, the later season uniform, which is also the uniform that they used in First Contact. So that's actually pretty cool, because, well, you could do a Captain Picard. That would be nice. A nice Captain Picard with that would be cool, I think. And it's got his picture in the back as usual. So let's see if this time we can say for sure that the size has been changed, because those two figures should be quite similar. Should be similar in size because they are using the same type of body, both of them. So here you go. Here is Benjamin Cisco. I will this is the new Benjamin Cisco. I will move the belt. I really don't like the fact that the belt is over the jacket. I always, first thing I do when I open a Mego figure, which Star Trek Mego figure, is I actually remove the belt and put it underneath. Actually, let's see if I can do it quickly or not. I won't have the time to do it properly, so I'll do it later. Of course, he does have his little phaser that we are going to put in his holster. So you go. Here is the version of Captain Cisco, and we're going to check and compare it to the earlier Deep Space Nine Captain Cisco. So as you can see, it's quite different, a different costume. I actually think as well, I may be wrong, no, they are the same. It's trick of the light. I think God has got a grayer beard, but it's just the light making it look a bit grayer. So really very, very cool, because that's the tops one, and that's the version that they did for tops. And ironically enough, we're not going to be able to check again because they look the same height, but once again I managed to find a way to make this figure look a bit taller. So we're going to actually change that so that I added some boots to make him look taller. So let's see now without the boots if there is a big difference or not. I'm not so sure that there is any difference. Nah, they're about the same height. So I'm not quite sure if they've changed the bandless bodies yet, or if they're still the same bandless body as before. At least mine are not. Maybe some other people have them with corrected bandless body. Maybe the European version doesn't have them, but the American version has them. Who knows? So but anyway, it's a great figure. I absolutely love him all the same, even if he looks a bit smaller than some of the other Star Trek figures. And we've still got two. We've got two left. We've got Quark, and Quark once again looks very, very different from the one that Topps released. So let's open him. I don't expect him to be taller than the other one because, I mean, let's face it, Quark is shorter anyway than other characters, so it would be only fair if they had kept him. If he needs to be shorter to be correct. So here you go. This is the new Quark, who looks really good. He looks really, really nice, and he's got this little red undershirt. Is that a full shirt? It actually is a full shirt, which is rather nice, because once again they didn't have to put a full shirt on him. They could have just gone for a little bit of sewn fabric. So here you go. This is the new version, and this is the old version of Quark, which that's the Topps version, which I think is the best of the two. I absolutely adore the Topps version with his red outfit. So here we go. Are they the same size? Yes, they are, which really for me is a relief, because I would have been very annoyed if I had a very tall Quark. So here you go, the two versions of Quark, and we've got one last one left, which is another of those cheeky changes, and it is Core. So Core, basically that's the new version. Very nice picture of Core, and as you can see, he looks quite familiar because he looks very much like the Topps version, doesn't it? But it's not. He's not. He's actually slightly different. there is a difference with the Tops version. So let's go first and discover the new version of Core before we. He looks absolutely incredible. I mean, Core was already one of my favorite figure of the Tops version, but this is so cool. I still absolutely adore this. So what's different about this one, you're going to say? Well, let's compare. And first of all, I will get his blaster out, because of course I forgot to take out the blaster, and of course I'm going to lose the blaster, otherwise it wouldn't be funny. I'll look at it. I'll look for it later. Actually, if I'm losing the second one, that's not better. So that's the Klingon blaster from the other version of Core. As it fell, might as well do that. So here you go. Comparison now between the two. Here you go. That's the comparison between the two of them. And as you can see, the main difference is he's got golden pants instead of silver pants, which is, I'm told, more accurate than because in the series they actually had gold pants and not silver pants. So that's interesting. And now for the last check, is he taller? Is he not? It's going to be just trying to get him to be as tall as possible to make sure that the outfit seems to be more. So is it just, no, I think he's as tall. They really are. So as I said, because I've seen people online comparing and saying that their Wave 15 versions were taller, I'm actually wondering if there's not a difference between the European version and the American version. But I mean, I will find out because that's actually interesting. Very, very good sculpt. I mean, I do like both. I think they're just fantastic. So here we go. Here we go. We've got all of Wave 15 now between the two videos that I've done. You've seen the comparison with the other versions, the Tops version. I was told that there would be a change in the bandless bodies, but so far I haven't seen anything that convinces me that it is the case. Could be possible. Maybe I'm not very good at seeing the difference, or maybe in those videos it's not easy to actually spot the differences. But anyway, they are absolutely fantastic, and I will speak to you again soon, and hopefully it's something different than Mego. Bye. No, well, you remember I was very, very surprised by the fact that those figures were supposed to be in different sizes, and because basically when they had done the Tops figures, they were using new bodies that were slightly smaller than the regular Mego body, and I had been told that they were corrected. However, as you've noticed in that video, it didn't appear to be the case. I've been told, however, that the release in the US has the corrected body, whereas the ones we have in the UK may not have the corrected body. It's all very complicated. So just as a check, I've got 3 figures that I know are the wrong size, which are Core, Spock, and Cisco. Those are the UK release, and I've got the American release for those 3 again. So we're going to compare and see basically if it's true. I mean, if I'm looking at the if I'm looking like that, it looks like maybe the case, but the only way to find out is actually to rip those open and see. It's quite a conundrum, to be honest. So let's see immediately. We're going to try with 3. I mean, of course, there's other figures that have the same problem, but I was thinking that if we can have 3 of those and check if those work or not, it may give us an indication. I know that some of the DC ones, for example, haven't been corrected. So let's make some space. We do have, this is the American one. This is the UK one. So if you look at them, it looks like there may be a slight difference. And yes, definitely. I mean, I don't know if you can see it here, but if I'm putting them next to each other, I mean, you can actually see that this one is actually smaller than that one. I mean, it's really quite visible when you put them. Yes, when you put them next to each other, and I'm holding the feet so to make sure that the feet are and this one is actually looking a bit taller. It's not really very easy to spot, but it looks like it's the case. Maybe it will be more visible on Cisco. So we do have the UK release of Cisco, and we're going to open the American release of Cisco. And to be honest, I mean, the costume looks a slightly better fit. So we're going to see, I'm going to remove the phaser, because if I don't remove the phaser, I'm going to lose it. And let's compare again. So this is the American one, and this is the UK one. And if we compare them, well, yes, once again, the American one is slightly taller. I mean, it's not much, but it does look, I mean, I think it's actually more visible on this one than Spock, but this is definitely taller. And if we do the comparison with that one, because that was very, very, it was very visible. I don't know why, especially that figure of Core is very visible, but actually we can, because if we do check this, it's not a release figure. I mean, that's his Kang, who was released, but I put him in an old costume. So basically, if we have the old costume, and you can actually see the difference. I mean, that's about half a centimeter difference between the two. So, and we know this is the correct size. So let's see how this one compares. But I would say that from the way it appears to be filling his box, I expect him to actually be taller. So we're going to find out very soon. So here is the American one, and this is, yeah, definitely the American one is taller than the UK one. And if we compare him to Kang, they are the same size. So definitely there's been a change. So not to say that it's the case with all of them, but at least there are some, we know that the UK ones with the new bandless bodies are smaller than the regular one. Quite a few of the American ones appear to have been corrected. I'm not sure it's the case for the DC heroes, would still seem to be smaller, but at least for the Star Trek one, they appear to have been corrected, and I'm sure it's the case with some of the monsters as well. So here you go, we've got the final answer about that. Yes, the bodies have been corrected between the Topps version and the Wave 15, but the one that we've got in the UK, which are all those numbered limited edition ones, actually probably have the shorter body. So it's actually a good way to know if you see one with a sticker, chances are the figure, the chances of the figure will have the smaller body. I'm just trying to find one to show you with the, there you go. If you see one with those stickers, it will have the shorter body, most probably. So here you go. You know everything now about Wave 15. It's been very complicated. That has been the longest video I've done in a while. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.